Welcome everyone, Christine here with my campaign guide for Malakai Makaisson of the Dwarves, the insane Slayer engineer with the Spirit of Grungni and Gotrek and Felix. Now if you want to have an extra fun time in this particular campaign, you can go over here and enable a grudge too far with diplomacy to get a significant level of power, or enable every endgame crisis with diplomacy and go for the ultimate crisis mode. That is exactly what I'm going to do here. I am going to set this at turn 32. I'm not sure if this is actually going to work, to be honest with you. Regardless, we are also going to buff the endgame difficulty to 200% and give myself 2 turns as an early warning timer, because we might need to run away from certain area. Well, actually, let's make it 3 turns just for the sake of sanity. So yeah, this is going to be a real campaign. Weirdly enough, AI stats sometimes do modify themselves. Like, it's legendary very hard, but yeah, sometimes this bug does happen in a campaign where when you're starting the campaign that AI stats are set to lowest. We don't want that. Just gonna set them to neutral and let us begin. So here we are. Now, if you've selected an in-game crisis, just know that RhadigarTV is going to spawn as a faction and declare war on you, and you won't be able to get a peace agreement until they've taken at least one of your settlements. So don't get too comfortable with holding RhadigarTV. Obviously, if you're playing a normal campaign, things are different. Now, in terms of the campaign itself, what you want to do is get a runesmith as the very first thing, because you have Gotrek with training, so you don't need a Thane. You have Felix with replenishment, so you don't need a Slayer. You will be able to get engineers with Malakai himself, because his special skill line gives you master engineer recruitment in all provinces, though crucially it is not something you can do from his airship. It is something you need a settlement for, but it doesn't matter, right? You're going to recruit from every settlement. Also, you may be able to take advantage, if you want to, though I'm not going to use it for the purposes of this guide, you can take advantage of a Lord with Hammercon's defeat trait to get a lot of heroes early on in your campaign. Pros and cons with that, just keep in mind getting a lot of heroes is pretty expensive. Okay, a couple of things. We're going to want to... Let's consider the options. We're going to want to declare war on the Bloody Sword. Over here, that Boris starts a war with, we're going to want to make a trade agreement with the Brotherhood of the Bear. There is a particular reason for that. Get on a trade agreement with Katrin, declare war on her initial faction, get military access as well. We're going to build up a good situation with her. And that would be about it. I mean, if you want to go even crazier, just declare war on the Acelings. Over there for a bit of money with Trog, and maybe a bit of a buffer before Trog declares war on you, which he very likely will. Anyway, so you have an initial army over here. The battles in a dwarf campaign, if you build your army properly, are trivial. The challenge comes from getting enough armies to deal with all the issues. Research-wise, you're going to want to get Way of the Guilds. The Way of the Warrior, the clans, are not worth it until later on. I mean, okay, they're worth it, but guilds gives you significantly more power because, you know, population surplus, diplomatic relations, construction benefits, all that. So you're going to want to get things like High King Authority. You will want to go for the upper tree, first off, because rat poison is pretty useful for the casualty replenishment. Construction time for provincial capitals is really useful, so is potentially holds of great guilds. You could skip rat poison in this campaign, though keep in mind it is an advantage to get it, because it is an instant research in one turn, just for the sake of alcohol. So okay, you have a quest that you start with to get Carrot Doom, so you'll want to do that, because yeah, there's an item, there's some money gained from that. You also have a quest to summon the Spirit of Grungni to fight 1 battle. This gives you 100 of gold and airship crew growth of 5 for 4 turns, which is obviously very useful, and you can either get it on this first battle or the settlement battle over here. For the sake of this video, I'm using auto-resolve mods, but yeah, just very, very simple stuff. Like, yeah, if this kind of army needs an explanation to how to fight in battles, I'm not sure really what to say on that. Anyway, go with Drink to Victory. Always useful to go for it in every dwarf campaign. 1, because it's going to give you that experience benefit. 2, it will prevent rebellion in your initial province early on. The economic benefits are not particularly great, but on top of that, you can also extend the duration of Gorog, so you can have the effect longer. But you first need to get it, and you can only get it from a field battle. Get campaign movement range, inspiring presence, training from Gotrek, replenishment from Felix. And yeah, if you're using AR mods like me, just fight this battle manually, get the Spirit of Grungni summoned in the battle. You might want to take your time a bit with this one, because you can actually defeat this army before you can summon the Spirit, but yeah, you want to be able to summon the Spirit, get that quest done, get that extra growth for the airship. Alright, 5 manually, 1 manually, no problem, just 1 dwarf dead. That is the nature of the beast in this particular campaign. Don't sack the settlement, you don't need the money early on, and you don't want a rebellion. That is gonna obviously add a lot towards your first stage of reckoning. Start getting Thunderer, because you will want to use it, though to be fair, in this particular campaign, that may not necessarily be as important as being able to get missile strength. Although, yeah, to be fair, like, just improving your range is going to be particularly useful. Get Blade Master for both Gotrek and Felix. And with regards to the airship, just wait until you get hardened hull. Don't construct anything else, because, I mean, it's just not going to be worth it. Now, crucially, this is going to give you vision on Clan Mulder, so what you want to do here is declare war on the Druzine Enclave.
The ice calls.
And that will be about it for turn 1. So I'm just going to end it here. And obviously, like, your next objective would be to take down the lair of the Troll King. The purpose, by the way, of making a trade agreement with the Brotherhood of the Bear is that you can get an event to give Azazel a ton of grudges in this campaign. It can also happen with Frot. It can also happen with Prague over here, or rather the Norskins that Prague is at war with. So be a bit careful with declarations of war in this campaign, or any dwarf campaign, because you can benefit immensely from having a lot of extra grudges added for an event, or a smaller amount of grudges if you don't want to declare war at one particular point on a faction. Though typically that will happen when one of your enemies is destroyed, or more often than not, it will happen like when one faction does take hostile actions against another. So for instance, with respect to Azazel, he's gonna obliterate the Brotherhood of the Bear, and when he does damage to them, there's likely going to be an event spawn happening that is going to allow you to get a lot of grudges for Azazel. Although it's fairly easy to fill up your first Age of Reckoning, don't worry too much about it. It's more so the long-term consequences that you have to worry about with respect to the Age of Reckoning. And this has been the case pre-patch, post-patch. It actually is kind of a bit trickier post-patch because, yeah, I mean, you can still abuse AI faction sacking and looting settlements, right? Okay, so that confederation has happened. We've gotten another objective over there for the Spirit of Grungni. Now, over here, you actually don't need to recruit any units. I'm quite serious on this because you will get units for the adventures on turn 5. And, you know, you can obviously recruit some, you know, dwarf warriors with weapons if you want to, if that's your thing. It is going to take an extra turn, so it's going to take until turn 3 for the airship to be built. Now, what you want to do here is get a peace agreement, though not necessarily as quickly as possible. It depends on how things develop in that situation. So yeah, just be a bit patient. Don't rush in like a maniac over here in this particular situation. So just gonna wipe out this Nurgle faction and move on. Okay, so over here on turn 4, we've got the Runesmith recruitment capability. My recommendation is, you know, if you can get one with Grungni, that would be great. We can also get a Slayer hero over here, so you don't need one in Malakai's army, but it's obviously very thematic. But beyond that, it's useful to start leveling him up because you will want to get the second army to build up, and yeah, get the Runesmith over here that we're going to use. Probably would have been better had I recruited that a bit later. Now, what you want to recruit with Malakai would be a bunch of Slayer pirates. The reason you want to recruit them is to get Garagrim. Or as quickly as possible. The benefit, of course, of Garagrim getting him quickly is like, you know, lots of power over there. Now, in terms of the Spirit of Grungni, you are going to want to get the tier 2 barracks over there, and you can also get the shooting gallery quickly, so for the unit experience lore and recruit rank, though you might also save up for cargo racks or for some other things. But yeah, this will unlock the ability of getting Ulrika. And yeah, getting legendary heroes as quickly as possible in the campaign is useful.
What gossip from
Now over here I'm going to do two things. I'm going to get the trade agreement with the Drazina Enclave. Going to get the peace agreement with them. The demons of Khorne are still annoying, but all the same. So now we're at 25% just from initially wiping out the enemy, and we do have a lot of grudges with Help It. Now, if you want to make your life easier, as I said, you can just recruit, you know, Dwarf Warriors. I have gotten a couple here, and Dwarf Warriors with Grey Weapons, though this is mainly going to be used for a second army. Research-wise, getting heavy cornstones and to concede subsidies. So, just end the turn, see what happens. Right, so on turn 5 over here, something like this is going to happen. If you declare war on the Drazina Enclave, get a peace agreement after that, then get a non-aggression pact trade agreement. When Clan Mulder does something against them, and they will, especially on higher difficulties, you'll get this event. Can be Azazel, can be Clan Mulder. It's better if it's the Skaven for a wide variety of reasons. But regardless, we are going to go to war against the Skaven. And now we're in a position of significant power over here against the Skaven. We've also gotten our first adventure. I would recommend starting with cannons, not because gyrocopters are not good. Like, you can only start with gyrocopters or cannons anyway, but I would firmly recommend starting with the cannons, not because of their usefulness in battle, but because completing this adventure as quickly as possible is going to give you some fairly substantial benefits. Also, I should have removed this particular structure as quickly, but anyway, we get Empower the Guilds, and you can see that Malakai still has Gorog, because the duration extends when you occupy a settlement. Now, over here, we're just going to get all 3 cannons, so this is a doom stack already. And what we're going to do, be a bit concerned about like what From might deal with, but just go after him. However, first off, we are going to want to move the Runesmith in that army. We're going to want to move that Slayer in that army. And we're just going to attack the settlements, because I don't have enough movement range. And Frot is likely going to be here, right? So just remember that if you can wipe him out at this particular point with the Drazina Enclave alive, pretty great. I mean, if Castalton, like, be concerned about Castalton, because he's not necessarily going to appreciate your dealings with the Drazina Enclave. Now, this can be a tricky battle, to be sure, but because he does have a lot of troops, but though it's really manageable, it's not really an issue. So just fight this particular battle. No problem. Just occupy it. Get rid of the replenishment structure here. Get this to tier 2 so we can get Ulrika as quickly as possible. And keep recruiting Slayer pirates. So your first Age of Reckoning is sorted out. I'd recommend making deals with Castalton as opposed to the Drazina Enclave. One, because you'll avoid the war with him. Make sure you get Demon Slayer with Gotrek. For Felix, getting the full plate armor is useful. For the Runesmith, Rune of Speed, Rune of Wrath and Ruin, because you do want to use that AoE ability. For the Slayer, for the Dragon Slayer, yeah, just regular, plain replenishment. So next up, we move on to Help It. I'm getting rid of the structure so I can build a barrack so I can sell it to Castalton for a pretty good deal. He doesn't particularly like me at this point. Okay, so now I can move on Skaven Blight. A little interesting thing about Malakai's Horde army, you can recruit lords from it. Heroes, units, lords, all that. And what I've done here is I recruited a lord, transferred him Dragon Slayers, 1 cannon, warriors, and all that. And the reason I did that is because, of course,
for the wisdom of Valea.
I do want to ensure that he didn't get ambushed. Because like this Skaven army was half empty previous turn, but if I had just, you know, gone with with the single lord, they would have ambushed him, kill him. It is better to seek a field battle outside of a major settlement like this because you can get extra post-battle loot. So either money and oath gold, or in this case, drink to victory for that income. And yeah, we've taken help it. No problem.
Yes.
Yeah, keep that as it is. And now we can start moving Malakai right here. Oh, actually, maybe I do want to give 2 cannons to that particular army. Regardless. So over here, we just want to keep recruiting Slayers, because we're going to go against Azazel next. Though it is up to you what you want to do at this point, because there's pros and cons with different approaches. Like, if you want to have an easy time with grudges, in the long term especially, it is good to go into the Darklands, because you can see, like if we toggle Fog of War here, you can see how many grudges there are on the cast dwarves, at least initially, and you certainly can demolish it. But there's pros in... There's certainly an argument to be made in favor over here of sticking to this area, specifically for the sake of organ guns, right? Though I don't have that because I do need to complete my first adventure. 3 turns until that's sorted out. By the way, you may be able to kill 800 enemies with cannon units easier for auto-resolve than through manual battles. Now just save up over here until Malakai is a higher rank. For Runesmith, we do want full Rune of Wrath and Ruin. For Felix, full plate armor for the extra armor. And then get Springly Mantling, because it does give melee defense and speed, Vanguard deployment, so it's just pretty useful to have. But yeah, with Malakai, just save up stuff. And sell this to Consolidating. You don't need a full stack to deal with Azazel, by the way. He does have that tendency. But regardless, just get trade agreement and defensive alliance with him. Catherine is not going to appreciate that, I might add. And yeah, just toggle Fog of War, because I'm just using it to demonstrate certain things. Alright, so this army is going to stay here and deal with all the rebellions and other enemies, and also I'm going to build it up in terms of strength. The reason I left the cannon unit is just having that 1 artillery unit. Going for Iron Drakes and Thunderers in the Giant Home Mountains, because you can always use global recruitment. You certainly have a lot of money here. You can use global recruitment to get Quarrelers in this campaign from Malakai's army. And since you start with the barracks, and it's like, whatever, right? It's just, you don't spend population surplus points to get to tier 2. You're just spending money, so no problem. You do need a certain level to be able to get to Ulrika, but this is the structure you need. And you do want to build up for cargo racks over here to be able to get that airship crew, as opposed to anything else. So, of course, you know, getting this particular structure for gyrocopters is especially useful. So, let's move on. We want to deal with Azazel. Alright, so a couple of turns later, you will usually at one point or another get the migration event. The loss of growth certainly will, and the loss of control will certainly hurt, but the growth benefit will certainly help you out a great deal. Now, it's worth pointing out to the canon event, there is a particular dilemma that happens over here. And it is a dilemma with regards to dwarf refugees. If you offer retribution, you can get either quarrelers or slayers in your army. If you offer shelter, you can either get construction cost benefit or a 30 growth benefit. For my part, I mean, both are strong. I'd probably go with the construction cost benefit, though there's certainly an argument to be made in growth. The reason I'd go with construction cost is because you're going to get 50 growth anyway, and if you do get the migration event, it's even more growth, so it's like, yeah, just reducing the cost even further is beneficial. I'm going to get the rebellion over here in the Giant Home Mountains soon enough. I am not going to recruit anything because I actually, or just recruit 1 unit of Thunderers. You don't want to go with too many Thunderers because it does have its own fair set of issues. Now, over here, there's a little trick you can use with Malakai. See, you can always recruit lords, right? And factions will allow you to sneak up on them, especially in the early game when you want when you're moving for a territory. So, like, what I've done here is I've moved Malakai towards Azazel's capital. I've recruited the Demon Slayer the previous turn. An interesting little thing about Demon Slayer, because like they're Demon Slayers, they have Siege Attacker, for obvious reasons. So I can use him to attack this settlement. Obviously win, no problem. Be careful here, like you might have to do this a couple of times because they might seduce one of your units, but no problem. Just loot and occupy. It is a much easier battle, by the way, to do it manually. Gonna point that out. And now I can move Malakai's army to go after Azazel. This is the kind of situation where, you know, if I wasn't just trying to save up on time, I would have obviously fought this battle manually because, yeah, that's gonna hurt right there. Because, like, you can win that battle with minimal casualties. And then, yeah, just go beat up Azazel. And I have 300 of gold, so I actually don't need anything more. Yeah, let's just go with that. And then just force march our way over here. Or put an encamp stance, because we can get the ship to a higher level. I can disband this army if I want to. Or I can just recruit more Slayers. I have the money for it, so there's no problem. And I do have this particular army of Sarl potentially coming in. Although maybe it would be better to recruit some quarrelers over there. So rebellion coming up. Like, I also left this army here, and weirdly enough, like, I'm building up grudges with Trog. Who is he doing? Like, he's just like sitting out there and chilling and doing absolutely nothing.
Approach us, friend, and make your offer.
One of the key things I found in this campaign is that you kind of don't want to declare war on as many factions as you might think you do. Oh, if you want to make things interesting, you can always declare war on Archaon. And the benefit here, by the way, is that it's actually twofold. So let me explain. If you declare war on Archaon for this, Archaon's going to come for you and he won't declare war on Borosursus, which will help Borosursus. I mean, Borosursus is probably going to end up in a war. You can defeat Archaon with this particular army, and with the Garage Settler units, you can certainly defeat Archaon. Rank 11 over here, by the way. Getting Skaven Slayer, though not really important. I mean, Demon Slayer, of course, very, very useful. I'd probably save up on that until, like, you know, you meet up factions that do account for that race. Get more replenishment. Hard to hit because melee defense reduces the chance that he's going to get hit. What you want to get over here is, like, reduce winds of magic into Forge Fire into Ward Breaker. You know, I don't, you know, maybe it's just me personally, but I can't quite understand. Like, I see many people playing campaigns, right? I don't understand why they don't get this more, right? It's like reducing missile resistance. I mean, I get it. Like, not every unit has missile resistance, but it just seems so incredibly useful to have. Okay, so over here, the Sarl have decided to move against the Tower of Crack with the full stack. And they haven't just moved, they force march their way towards the Tower of Crack. Now, Malakai doesn't quite have enough movement range to go reinforce that, so he is going to take a bit of attrition damage, but that's fine because he's, you know, he's got good replenishment. And we can just take this Demon Slayer. Like, it's useful to get the second army in these kind of situations where you have multiple enemy armies, just to give you the kind of flexibility that I'm showcasing over here. So just fight this particular battle. And, like, yeah, you'd start with this in a corner camp, but, like, seriously, like, this army, what a joke. Okay, and just go for unit experience and control. And move Malakai even closer, and now he's rank 12. We're going to want to do a couple of things here. We're going to want to get his entire special skill line. Yes, I deliberately save up points for that. And we're going to want to get some engineers. I would recommend also a Thane over here. Yeah, just been building up towards it. Get a Master Engineer for this particular army right here. Don't attack the Rebellion the moment it spawns because you will actually benefit. And yeah, get some Quarrelers with Grey Weapons. We're going to have a Rebellion here. Start upgrading this. And here, We can't recruit from the Spirit of Grugni,
For a glorious
unfortunately,
death.
just yet. Okay, Foe Seeker. And over here for Scarred Veteran for Gotrek. And finally,
Explosives
Rune of Harfin
expert.
Home for Vigor benefits with the
Follow
Runesmith.
at your peril.
Right here, we want to get full on
Not
Thunder.
bad.
Because yes, he might be a Slayer, but he's certainly going to get a lot of those Thunderers. We're going to get a Rebellion here soon enough. I'm actually going to stop the income just to delay it a bit. Because I do want to have a bit of control here. Now, I do want to declare war on the Golden Order right here.
What?
Because then I can turn around and maybe declare war on one of his enemies. But we also got, you know, a Kafan caravan showing up. Don't declare war on the Scalings over there. It's just not really worth it. You can declare war on Talabayam. And then get the peace agreement.
Do not waste my time with petty talk. Make your offer.
Though not
yes.
this turn. You know, I'm just going to have to wait the next turn. So next turn, quest battle time. Although maybe 2 turns after, considering the casualties and, you know, the things that I want to do. And we're going to start on new adventure for those gyrocopters.
Past is the past.
So over here, we do have 1 gyrocopter already for Malakai, so we don't need an extra one. I would recommend just getting
Only
these
the
2
toughest
right
battle.
here. You can recruit gyrocopters from Malakai's own army, so it's not really a priority
If he wants
to
it done right.
give them
Right.
to him.
To war.
Although the best dwarf army does include some 2 gyrocopters with brimstone guns, but I just don't have the capability right now of recruiting them. So over here, just getting more of these fellows. I'm gonna get rid of the Arms Forge. Like, I just wanted early on to get those Iron Drakes and to get those Thunderers right there. So, like, yeah, there is a lot of situations where you're like, oh, I built this construction building, but now I don't need it, so let's just move on. Now, over here, I'm making progress on the cannon situation, and we just need to build a refactory and get more kills with the cannons. No problem. Okay, over here, turn 14, we got Garagrim Iron Fist. We are on the verge of bankruptcy. We also took a bit of attrition damage because of, yeah, a bug that's currently in the game. So now I can go deal with these greenskins, the Greenskin Rebellion. And just get a bit of extra money. Financial issues will be resolved
For the
very
wisdom of
shortly.
Valea.
Get rid of these Dwarf Warriors because we do not need them. And Archeon is starting to move towards me. I don't think he has enough movement range. No, he doesn't have enough movement range to attack me right just now. I did move a
Master
bunch of
engineer at your
engineers right
service.
here in
Get to
this
work.
situation.
No complaining. Get those cannons moving. Aye, it'll be those axles.
So a couple of things I want to do.
Innovator.
I want to do his quest battle to get another engineer at Crocodrock. So very easy quest battle to find, no problem. Like, because you do get these reinforcements, and hell, the cannons and all that are very, very useful. Is important to recruit all the engineers you possibly could.
An artillery train to speed
Like,
us
get
up.
those 3 engineers that you do have, because, like, the quest battle gives you an extra one. And yeah, now we can go deal with some grudges with Mr. Archeon. We don't need extra units here. I'm just going to force march
By
in
the grudge bearer's
right
will.
here and just get
Boyar's
that
right.
sorted out. And over here we do want the refactory to maybe even prevent that rebellion from happening in the first place.
Follow at your peril.
Though
Slayer.
it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if it did happen, by the way. Okay, so with that sorted out, we can see that this adventure sorted out as well. We could fight that
For a
battle, no problem.
glorious death.
We're gonna give this particular army all of our cannons, all of our slayers. We don't need them. Like, quite seriously, we do not need them.
The Damas Kron
So just
drives
retreat
you
this
on.
army, move
Keep
Malakai's
that
army
powder
forward,
dry.
and put
Put
them
your
in a
feet up,
camp
why
stance.
don't you?
We can recruit more quarrelers, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like, cannons are, like, going for the cannons first is not because the cannons are the best option, necessarily, in terms of the units. No. It's because the cannons, okay, so you want to save up for crew, and then unlock other things you may want to recruit. Get Rune of Grimnir for missile resistance.
Explosives
Get Tactician for obviously the artillery benefits.
That'll come in handy.
Helping Hand over here. Sweet Talker for, you know, diplomatic relations. Physical resistance for that Slayer.
Is the past.
Magical attacks. Rune ability cooldown. Pretty useful to have. More Thunderer for the range benefits.
It is time.
Training Blade Master for the Fane.
Yes.
Engineer, increase mobility, break open the casket. That's what you always want to get
Greatest
there.
inventor.
Increase mobility. Triangulation, of course, very, very useful.
It's me.
Now, whether or not you want to have 2 or 3 engineers in this particular army is up to you. By the way, it's like, it's not efficient to have Gabriel, Gotrek, and Felix in the same army, but, you know, RP reasons. I'm sure you guys understand.
Onward.
So yeah, over here we're gonna have a battle against Archeon, who's like sailing away, sailing towards us. It's not really an issue. And as I said that it would happen, I have avoided the war happening between Archeon and Boris Ursus. So that is obviously an advantage right there. So here, all I'm going to do is defeat the Sarl. There's gonna be a rebellion here coming up, and I'll engineer it, like deliberately engineer it. Money is of course a bit of an issue at this point because I got too many troops that I'm trying to maintain at this point. But like declarations of war are going to help the situation, no problem.
I've been looking forward to this.
Could even declare war on the Wintertooth. Interesting.
I travel
No, we can declare war on the Varg as well directly. I mean, it's good that they're not being a thorn in my side. And by the way, these adventure quests will also give you a ton of money as well. And there's these 2, like, I'm going to build that refactory now, and so I'm going to get some more money. And I'm also going to soon enough fight battles against High Elves. Because there are, like, these battles over here. Like, you might want to do these battles because they'll give you a ton of money before you actually do this particular battle. Because, like, obviously it's a battle against High Elves. Like, the moment you complete that objective of 2 battles, these will, like, these rogue armies, because that's what those markers are, that they're markers for a high elf rogue army. The moment you do fight those, like, the moment you fight the quest battle, like, the moment you complete the objective, those will disappear, so it's useful for more experience, for more money, all that, to keep them alive. So, just gonna skip ahead. Like, Archeon is gonna attack, but, like, yeah, it's like... It is an easy thing to deal with him, really. Like, I'm not trying to pull anyone's leg on this. I mean, you can make things a bit easier, you know, regiment around, but I don't need that right now. Alright, so the Age of Reckoning has been completed right here. That's good. And now we can get another event against the Wintertooth. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, they got the Varg, no problem. We got a rebellion and we got the rogue, and we got the Sarl army right there. Just deal with the rebellion, no problem. Yeah, more of that. Rod. Set the ambush. Like, using ambush to your advantage is actually a key point here. I love that movement range that Malakai has. Now, as for Archeon, he has finally decided to go to war with Boris Ursus. Okay. So, that's not really helping matters for me, but, you know, I can work around that. Like, I had hoped that Archeon would come for me. Sometimes he does, though. So, you know, you can always use that to your advantage. Right here, what we want to do is we want to pick up the troll hammers for him.
I'll try not to kill you.
So we got 16 units right there. I'm not going to do that quest battle just yet. It would be beneficial to do it. It would unlock more adventures once I complete it. Get that growth benefit. Lethal Romancer. Fate of Grimnir with Gotrek over there. Right here, you know, Tactician for the artillery benefit. And you may have noticed that I haven't really been interested that much in recruiting artillery. Good reason. Because I knew I would complete that first stage of Reckoning, so here's your artillery. Yeah, like just effectively that, more or less. Yeah, let's just get the Quarreler.
As the High King commands.
So let's force march him there. Losing money, again, not an issue, because it's like now we got vision on the Empire, so it's like
Greetings from Sigma.
the Empire will provide the financial means necessary to keep all of this going. Midland, yeah, non-aggression pact. I guess they got wiped out, and Karl Franz decided to.
The Snowbringer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make non-aggression pact. Wouldn't be too bad with them. I know I'm screwing over Kastalin, but then again, Kastalin, you don't want Kastalin to be successful in this campaign. The reason you don't want him to be successful is because you want to complete this grudge yourself, so that requires you to control the Tower of Crack. It's a pretty useful benefit. I mean, you don't need to keep control of the territory once you have it, but since it's most of Norska anyway, might as well use it, right? Over here, do I want anything more, or should I just wait for other stuff down the line? Like this, obviously these armies are quite capable of dealing with everything, so...
More moving, less whinging.
Yeah, we're gonna use the Grudge Seller army
Ready.
to attack. Though, be aware of, you know, the casualties you can take with that. We might get a rebellion here, maybe. Keeping the Doomseekers there. I could send another Slayer. So I have the ability of recruiting another Slayer hero, so let's just do that and send him on his merry way.
Who calls?
Norland. Okay. They're not at war with anyone. Like, we're at the point, like I'm at a point right now in my campaign.
What brings the despicable dwarfs?
You know, declaring war on Norland.
Do they come to
Never eat.
The dwarves
Might just be worth it. Just for extra money.
because
Because, like, Norland is going to give us a peace agreement shortly thereafter. And if they don't, it's like, well, screw them.
I will listen,
As I said.
but my time is short.
And we can even fleece them for some more
As
money.
you say, sir.
So, yeah, we're just doing that. Full on money. So no problem keeping the economy afloat over here. Just gonna want to protect those cannons. One more growth. Yes. Yes, growth. I'm not worried about this army potentially being attacked. That is a lot of grudges. But it was like, okay, like it was certainly fortunate over there that things unfolded the way they did in this particular campaign, right? We do have Clan Ferric moving over there. You can get, like, I would certainly not declare war on, like, you know, Kastalin or Catherine, but, you know, just get non-aggression pacts with them, sell territory to Kastalin will avoid that, I think. Like, I'm not entirely 100% certain how the event works. They certainly have changed it with 5.03. Okay, so we're getting the Winter Tooth showing up with an army. I was like, ooh, that is scary. Not really. They can't take the garrison. Like, even if they tried, like, that's like just them being annoying, right? Okay, big boys. Don't you worry. These guys can, however, so... yeah. Let's just beat the shit out of some Norskans. What's the rebellion situation there? Hold on. I want to see, like, if I'm gonna get another rebellion. Get more money. Yeah, we can. So we can engineer that particular situation. So we're just gonna loot and occupy, get more income. Just a short explanation. Yeah, short. That joke is so fucking tired, by the way. Like, I prefer going for Trinket Maker as opposed to Oath Gold. Sure, there's benefits with Oath Gold, undeniably so, but from my personal perspective, it's just more useful.
Time for a reckoning.
Over here, we're going to go for looting and occupying stuff along the way, so I'm not at all worried what might happen here.
For the wisdom of the
Like, this army is gonna go for the capital anyway, and it's part of the plan that I'm now going to start explaining. I'm gonna get rid of these dwarf slayers, I don't need them. So this army is just gonna I mean, maybe I could have used them for the rebellion, but it's like, no problem.
We sharpen our own
A bit of
axes
money
here.
spent there, so we need
The
more.
Empire.
But no problem,
Welcome,
no
ancient
problem.
allies. In these troubled times,
Yeah,
dwarves
payments.
are a fine sight to behold.
Okay, let's go even further. Even though they don't have money, we can still get some. Declare war on epidemias. Don't mind if I do. It's weird that Malice Darkblade hasn't wiped them out, but sure. I mean, it's not exactly a fast, you know, we're not exactly in the early game anymore. So, do I want to declare war on epidemias? I mean, Festus is there.
Welcome,
Yeah, we can.
ancient allies. In these
Very well.
Just a bit more money. Or maybe don't declare war on epidemias and save up stuff for later. The Sarl are going to attack this army, but that's fine. You know, I was
Dragon
counting on
Slayer.
that. So just actually I'm gonna move Malakai outside of here because like obviously I want that rebellion to spark. Moving that to
doom then.
just ensuring it happens, right?
To war.
So I'm raiding my own territory to ensure a rebellion is happening there.
Let
Skill
us
lines are leveling
begin.
up. Tactician, all is good stuff to go for. With runesmiths, yeah, Rune of Hearth and Home. Or just more stuff.
My
Like
axe
full plate
thirsts
armor for
war.
extra armor. Always good to
Summon
focus on
me
that
if you
survivability
dare.
triangulation. So what is that Demon Slayer going to do? Well, he's going to protect against Archaon. Obviously, he can't defeat Archaon in his current state, but like I'm just counting on the fact that Boris Ursus is there right now. Get growth. Always go for growth if you have any choice. So I'm not worried about the Archaon at the moment. Because, like, I think, like, it was just a question about buying Boris Ursus time, because, like, the war between them is inevitable. Either Archaon declares war or Boris Ursus declares war. One of those two is going to happen. Oh, look at him. Isn't he so special? Yeah, I mean, okay, this would obviously do some damage, but he stands no chance. And I'm not, that's not an exaggeration. Like, seriously. Like, he has a lot of troops, but it's like, just meat to the slaughter. Honestly, I've defeated, like, Norska is so pathetic against the dwarves, it's not even funny. Okay, so we got the Sarl attacking, as we knew they would. Did Castalton deal with some of them? Maybe he did.
Bane of demons.
No, I mean, he will, though. Would be nice to get that money ourselves, so...
We'll travel.
Now, let's just move there in case,
Death
you know.
Seeker.
Rebellion right
I
here.
hope we're outnumbered.
I triggered.
Let us find our death.
I have triggered them.
Dishonored. The Damas Kron
Alright,
drives
just force
on.
march here. Get that
Alright, lads.
Dragon Slayer to move. What are you doing, boy?
Refused. For
Yeah,
the
you're trying to
wisdom
attack me, aren't you, you little
of
shit?
Farmadreking.
Okay, so we got a siege battle. Do we have... No, we don't have quite enough movement range to deal with both that... Both of those, right?
Have it, you bastards!
Gonna replenish Gorod.
Is ours. Take out the Batmans! Give them a good thrashing!
I'm just looking on occupying because, yeah, rebellions are powerful things. Over here, we want Iron Mining Pit, and yes, more construction benefits. You can go for the public order benefits if you so desire,
Time
but
for a reckoning.
Age of Reckoning is a hard mechanic, guys. It wasn't, like, this is trivial. Like, I do feel this is trivial. Like, I understand that if you're, you know, a newer player, this wasn't as easy, right? But, and certainly this is a lot easier to manage. But I do wonder if, like, that event was something you could use before. Now you might wonder about like all I've been doing here in this campaign. Believe me when I say there is a plan. I could get that airship crew. I could get more units. I don't need more units because smoking guns are gonna come into play, and Ulrika is gonna like. That's the thing. Like that, there's a reasoning. Get Dwarven Grimm so we can unlock underway trade caravans. The goal of the underway trade caravans, you know, campaign movement range. You just want to unlock all that stuff as quickly as possible. Like yeah, Malakai, like is. Like, he's easy right now. Just keep in mind, like, this can go really badly really quickly. I've obviously played this campaign multiple times by this point. And it may not happen in this way. Like, things can go very, very wrong here. But declaring war on Trog's initial enemy does make it less likely that he will declare war on you, minimizing casualties in battle. Like, if you're obviously playing with Almods, fight every battle manually and obliterate your enemies with minimal casualties. We want Ruin Warded armor for that, his personal survivability. So yeah, we're gonna get that Sarl army. Like, these guys are just screwing around right there.
The Empire.
Okay, trade agreement.
Hold
Hold on a second, let's see. Too many trade partners, yeah, that's too much. So we're not, like, it's not worth it right now.
Of course.
Keep it in reserve as well, because it will be beneficial in the long term.
Dwarves have come. I hope they've brought a
Military
few
access,
barrels of wine.
don't mind if I do. And maybe even
As you say, sir.
So,
defensive alliance,
Sigma
because that
approach and make
will
your
give
offer,
us vision
but I make
on
no
these
promises
guys,
to my assent. I will.
which we can use.
What?
Probably should have fleeced them for more money in that situation, though.
Pay up. If it speeds me doom,
11,000. Can I get to 15,000? That is the question.
bloodthirst. True. Love the sick.
I am not at all worried about Azak, by the way.
Not
Heed me.
In any way. for real, though.
Northmen come.
You're at war with freaking Azak, and only Azak. That is impressive. Okay, I think the best option right here would be to try and see who gives me the best deal
It is good
against...
to see our
Oh,
allies
okay.
of the mountains.
Yeah, we'll accept that. Although, maybe I can get more money from Talabayam.
Sigma's will.
Maybe.
Approach as friend and make your offer.
No. So how much would Carl just give me for a
Greetings
declaration of
from
war against
Sigma.
Festus? Okay. We're gonna go for both of them.
Of course.
I'm not too worried about not having
Mildred beast.
a defensive alliance with Carl. So close, so close, so close.
the Empire. Who
I would kind of want to keep it in reserve. I would not want to necessarily declare war on Vlad at this point.
storm.
Also not want to declare war on
all.
them just yet.
No escape.
All right?
Yes.
I mean, I can declare war on Vlad. What's he gonna do? March against me? Yeah, good luck with that one,
Ancient
Vlad.
allies. In these troubled times,
we
dwarves are all right.
He's kind of screwed. So yeah, money gained.
Cold. This is nought.
May not keep it,
What?
but we're gonna get told to recut right now.
By Grimney.
So yeah, triangulation, mobilization, Zof power 42 pounders, and extra ammunition right there.
Engineer.
Gotta love when your enemies so send two stacks against you and they stand no chance. Like, yeah, I would have had to fight that battle, of course, manually. And, you know, proper game, proper campaign, but like, it's just not really. Like, it wasn't a risk. I have got troll hammers. Do you know what troll hammers do to Trog? They wipe him out. Ah, damn, I wish I could get that. Technically I can. Technically. Just kinda. Yeah, let's play it safe. Like, you know, obviously rebellion is gonna happen here, so
I'm on it.
yeah. So just wait on that. Consolidating provides. then yeah, it's like with this army in vanilla, this is why I use auto-resolve mods, but with this army in vanilla, you don't want to auto-resolve with it, because like, it's just a waste of the army. So what is Straw going to do with his lovely little... I find it so amusing. He sent an army that has no chance of dealing with any of the settlement garrisons I have. Any of them. Like, I ignore that. Like, it's not really an issue. Who gives a shit? The best part is that army has grudges on it. Who cares? Okay. We're gonna step it up a bit over here. Oh, they're being cheeky, aren't they? I know what they're doing, right? Like, I'm well aware of what they're doing in that particular situation. So, okay. Now, so we got Ulrika. You might be tempted to go for this. It is good, but yeah. It's like, Ulrika is just...
I will track from the
Well,
front.
Felix did have to kill her in the lore, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, look, financial situation is no longer a concern. Okay, so just get more money.
Summon me if you
We didn't even get the rebellion. Holy. Oh.
My
Okay.
axe thirsts for war.
Forward one.
By the grudge bearer's
So we're just
will.
gonna move this army right here. Deal with the elves right over here.
Let's show
Get more money.
must be paid in
And then find a quest battle. Obviously, if you're gonna do this, play this manually, because like the casualties are a bit much, and you can't fight the quest battle through. Yeah, I'm just gonna get more of that right there. So that adventure is complete. We get more adventures. Time to get the organ guns. This is what I've been waiting for. Like, I'm not joking. Like, seriously, this is literally what I've been waiting for. Okay. So, bloodletting adventure. You can do multiple adventures at the same time. So, I'm just gonna get 2 organ guns for this army, and... Yeah, let's go with, you know, some Grim Delvers. Just have some fun, right? Is turn 19 of this particular campaign. Yeah, Rebellion's gonna spark right now. So do they have enough movement range right there?
No.
Yeah, not quite.
Doom chaser.
We can certainly put them under.
To doom.
Move this army here.
Bakras.
And keep upgrading stuff. Okay, so now underway trade caravans right here. So what is my plan now, you might ask? Like, what do you do from this point? Like, I didn't go after Azazel just for a shits and giggles, basically. That's what I'm gonna say there. There is a plan. So, you do get the organ gun benefit with the adventure, but the adventure does require you to go in the north. Also, Borsursus is under a lot of pressure right there. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go here. Wow. Wow. Alice. Holy shit. What are you doing, my dude?
Things would gladden my
fuck
heart
are you
more
doing?
than your death.
So all that I've been building up here. But like the point is, like, yeah, I can obviously see that without even toggle parkour. So you got these 4 armies. So you got these armies right here, full armies, and you want to deal with them. Because, like, obviously, like, that's how you get the quest battle for the organ guns. That's how you get the benefits from them. And eventually, you want to go into the Darklands for the gyrocopter stuff, right? And even the vampire stuff. Which probably is, like, I don't know where the vampire stuff is taking place. So, I've come over here, dealt with all that. And now Malakai's in a position where he can travel north. This army is in a position to deal with Norska.
We move.
Because Norska can't defeat this. They could try. I wish them luck. That's all I'm gonna say. So at this point in time, you know, we got this army here. Even if Archaon showed up, I could deal with him, right? I got more organ guns I could deploy.
It is time.
More organ guns I can deploy. I'm actually just gonna get rid of one of these guys and put another organ gun in this army. We got more organ guns that we can deploy.
Slayer.
we're gonna get another hero. We're gonna get, you know, gyrocopters with brimstone guns, thunderers, quarrelers in this army, iron drakes. Like once I get the structures built back up, right? Because yeah, just waiting for growth. But I can recruit quarrelers in the meantime. Here I do want to get like brimstone guns. So this army is gonna be a bit passive while I build up the structures needed to support it. Get a runesmith capacity over there, no problem. Just get, you know, rebuild a runesmith structure. But it was obviously worth it, you know, to get that thunder recruitment. But yeah, rebuild the runesmith structure to get more runesmiths, or just cheese it with a lord, no issue whatsoever. But like the ideal scenario has just happened here, where now this campaign, like what do you do after this point in this campaign, right? You just build up, you do those adventures, and you kind of want, what you want to do with Malakai is the following. You want to go deal with Epidemius to a degree or another, provoke a war between Malice Darkblade and Epidemius, or get one going, because you want Malice Darkblade to hold the northern flank over here against Sigvald, if Sigvald becomes a problem, which he generally will be. It may have taken him a while here, but he's starting to become an issue. So you want Malice Darkblade to hold this flank. You can ally him. There's absolutely nothing whatsoever preventing you from allying him. And you might say, oh, but what about, you know, Grumbrindle, right? It's like, okay, fair enough. If you can get Grumbrindle, that's all well and good. Though in this case, he's down to 2 Salmon, so I'm guessing he's losing. Yep, I guess it's going to come down to the next turn, really. Who has the better R resolve, Grumbrindle or Malekith? You might be wiped out here soon enough, though. So, like, that is a fairly common occurrence, though. That is a pretty common occurrence. But as you can see, like, grudge-wise, I'm at 5.5k grudges here. Really good position. Building up towards that grudges by turn 20 or so, you know, 25 or so, I'll be in a position to confederate Grumbrindle. I don't even need to deal with Norsca right now. Although, it would obviously be good, you know, like I think I'm obviously going to go for this territory. Use this army to protect the flank here. So, like, if Wulfric decides to show up here, like, this army can defeat him. Like, it's not a joke. Like, with a garrison, maybe a couple of recruitment, no problem. But it's this kind of situation you want to engineer. Like, an army going west, Malakai going north to deal with the Organ Gun situation, and then a third army, and eventually going to Dark Lands, and then a third army building up over here to deal with this situation, to deal with, like, the Frozen Landing, to deal with Prague and all that. Like, yeah, you want to take Prague, sell it to Kislev, and then get Volkswagen for yourself, because why the hell not, right? Like, why wouldn't you? And eventually, like, obviously, dependent on the RNG here, help out Boris Ursus against Archeon. It does look in this case like it's a coin flip, but you do actually give Boris Ursus a significant advantage if you start that war with Archeon yourself, as opposed to it starting between them, because it gives him a couple of turns, and it means that Boris Ursus's AI avoids a situation where his main army gets wiped out because Archeon just, you know, got the jump on him. It's stacking the deck in your favor. It won't guarantee success, just pointing out. It won't guarantee it, but it's just about trying to get the card stacked in your favor. Now, obviously, it would have been much better had Archeon decided to play ball and, you know, suicided himself against this army. I had here, because it would have beaten him. That would have made the situation even better with Boris Ursus. Though that could have backfired, because you do want to take Carrick Doom for yourself for the objective that Malakai has. Anyway, that's roughly about it. Like, what do you want to build? Like, I've done a guide on which army you want to build. You know, it's essentially this army, really. Iron Drakes, Quarrelers, Thunderers, Heroes, Artillery, whatever you got available. Like, you don't need to worry about recruiting the artillery, getting the artillery building this campaign for a fairly long time. Because, like, yeah, you get a bunch of artillery. Like, you'll obviously get, you know, Grudge Seller units, you'll get the... Like, in a normal Dwarf campaign, I would. But even in another Dwarf campaign, like, just the fact that you get free artillery units, because I do consider the Troll Hammers and artillery units for bloody reason. The fact you get free artillery units from a full Age of Reckoning means you don't have to bother so much about artillery recruitment. You know what the new Dwarf meta is? It ain't about Grudge Throwers, it's about cannons. Holy crap, lots and lots of cannons. And by the way, with Ulrika, I'm just saving up points because I want to unlock the special skill line over here, so just worth pointing out. So yeah, like the progression here would be just going north, dealing with Daniel along the way. It's like just sniping Daniel along the way, casually having a bit of fun at his expense. Building an army here, maybe even a fourth one if I can afford it. Building up to Confederation Grombrindle. Belegar is also a good choice for Confederation if you want to go with that, because he does have a great skill line. Though you may want to save him up for later because his AI actually does a good job. Grombrindle is the priority because he can get wiped out, and so you kind of want to save him. Though in this case, I kind of want to wait until turn 30 because, you know, Dwarf... Like, yeah, I would want to wait until turn 30 because Dwarf Endgame Crisis in this campaign, but if you're playing a normal campaign, you would want to get Grombrindle as quickly as possible. I could have rushed for Norska faster, sure, but, like, this army can handle all of Norska. It's no issue. So I've built a powerful army that can handle all of Norska while Malakai goes... Like, Malakai's progression in the Castways is going to be slow, sure. So you want to give this territory to Malice, Darkblade, and Boris. There's pros and cons, right? It's like, just try and be friends with Malice. Resist the urge to kill the elf, right? Resist the urge to kill the elf, because if you kill him, you're just giving the entire Northern Castways to Sigvald. You can beat the shit out of Sigvald if you want to, but you want to devote those resources when you got, you know, other things to happen in a campaign. Bear in mind, the ultimate endgame crisis is going to happen in this campaign, so at this point, it's going to be an interesting thing to see how this develops. Costin signing out.